Hello, my name is Margaret Foster, a faculty member of the Medical Sciences Library. This video provides an introduction to researching health and kinesiology through the Texas A&M University libraries. At the end of this video, you will be able to plan a search, find articles on a health-related topic, use RefWorks to gather and cite articles, evaluate articles as well. Before watching all of the video, you will be going to the Health and Kinesiology Guide, printing out a workbook, and creating a RefWorks account. I'll be going over those steps next. You will start by going to the Medical Sciences Library website, the URL showing here, at msl.library.tamu.edu. Then click on Health and Kinesiology, listed under Resources by subject in the third column. It is a good idea to bookmark this site so that you can access it easier later. Next, click on the Health and Kinesiology Research Workbook. This is shown in the left column in a gray box. Print this out. Next, you will sign up for a RefWorks account by clicking on Create Account from the RefWorks box shown on the Health and Kinesiology Guide. Then click on Sign Up for New Account and fill out the form that appears. It is not a good idea to make your RefWorks password the same as your NetID password, as NetID passwords are required to change from time to time. RefWorks will send you an email with your username and password. Be sure to save this. Your RefWorks account will stay available to you even after you graduate. Once you have finished filling out both steps, click on the Create Account button. There are 5 main steps that we will go through during this video: planning the search, selecting and searching the information sources, an evaluation part 1 and exporting citations, completing the search, and then evaluating and citing. There are 4 main steps for planning your search: determining the research question, listing the criteria of what you are looking for, transforming that criteria into search terms, and finally listing the limits that you will put on your search. The first step is thinking about your topic idea and specifying your question. For example, you may want to write a paper about pet ownership and its effect on children's health. A more specific question would be, do children who have dogs exercise more? Now that you have your specific question, list the characteristics of articles that will help you to answer your question. In this case, children, exercise, and dogs are the main concepts we are looking for. For this step, use page 2 of the workbook. Place one concept from your list of criteria into each circle, then add synonyms for each concept. In this case, we had children, dogs, and exercise. For children, I added teenagers or youth or adolescents. For dogs, I added pets. Exercise synonyms include physical activity, fitness, or even walking. Next, list the limits of your search, such as years, peer-reviewed, English only, and so on. Your instructor may list some of these limits in their instructions for the assignment. Next, you will select Information Resources to search. The guide provides a link to several databases divided into subjects. See page 1 of the workbook for a description of the databases. For this video, we will focus on databases from EBSCO, which is a vendor or a creator of an interface to databases. Here, I have listed several databases that may be helpful for your search. First is CINAHL, which stands for the Cumulative Index of Nursing and Allied Health Literature. This includes health education, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and more. Next is ERIC. This is the most important education database and covers K through college. Medline is the most important clinical medicine database and is estimated to have about 50% of the clinical literature. Sport Discus covers all areas of sport, including rehabilitation, sports medicine, sports therapy, and the business of sports. Alt Health Watch covers alternative or complementary medicines. Finally, Academic Search Complete is a database that covers a wide variety of disciplines. Now we will choose an EBSCO database from the guide. In this example, I will choose CINAHL, listed as the first database under Clinical Health. Next, I will click on Choose Databases and select Other Useful Databases. This is so that I can be the most efficient with my time, searching a variety of resources that will be helpful. Next, you will put the terms into the database. Each circle represents one line in the advanced search. These lines will then be ANDed together to find articles that include all three of the requirements. A useful technique is to use an asterisk on words that could have multiple endings. For example, teen asterisk retrieves articles that have teen, teens, teenager, or teenagers. However, it's important not to use asterisk on short words like dog or pets. In this case, spell out the two options. Here is an example. First, I added the terms to each lines, and then I selected limits. I checked peer-reviewed and typed in the years 2008 to 2014. We will talk more about peer-reviewed in the next step. However, if you do not see this limit, it may say scholarly. If that does not appear on this column, you can always click on the Show More link. Now we're going to look at the results and see what we have. If you see few records that seem relevant, you may want to consider changing the fields that you are searching in. In this case, I searched for the child term in the abstract and exercise and dog terms in the title. Then I found 6 titles that matched my needs exactly. You may find yourself with thousands of articles, such as this search, where I was still searching for children in exercise, but not with the term pets, just reduce obesity. Of course, there are thousands of articles with this as the concepts. To limit a list like this, try adding review as a criteria. Click on the plus sign and type in review. Make this in the title field. A review article is a summary article where authors have gathered many articles and synthesized the findings in one place. This is very helpful when first starting a project, as it gives you many references that you can then check. In step 3, we will begin to evaluate the items that we have found and export these items into RefWorks so that we can then read and evaluate them more. You will evaluate the articles twice. First, when selecting which articles to look at more closely, and second, when reading the full text articles. For this video, we will focus mostly on selecting articles from the database. I always focus on the 3 R's: recent, relevant, and reliable. Relevancy is usually the first thing that you focus on, as this drives the search. In health-related research, recency is very important. I'm always looking for research less than 10 years old, and many times 5 years or less. For reliability, you are looking for articles that are peer-reviewed, not from a newspaper or magazine. There are several tools available to help you determine if an article comes from a peer-reviewed journal. First is the limiter, which we have already applied. I will talk about the other tool when we get to the full text of these articles. The first step to exporting is to mark the items that you want. Click on the blue folder icon to make it look like a yellow folder when looking at the results. Or, from the abstract screen, click on Add to Folder from the right side list of tools. After you've marked all of your items, click on the folder icon on the blue bar at the top of the EBSCO screen. Then click Select All at the top of the results list and export from the far right side. From this screen, you will select Direct Export to RefWorks and then click Save. Look for the new tab that has opened. Click on this new tab and then click View Last Imported Folder. The last imported folder is a temporary designation anytime you import items into RefWorks. To categorize these, click on New Folder. Then give this group a name and click Create. Now that you have created a folder, you will want to move the items into it. Click on All in List and then select a folder from the drop-down list. You can tell which folder you are in by looking across the gray toolbar. Click on a folder name from the right to actually go to that folder. Now we will discuss navigating RefWorks. Click on the magnifying glass to see the entire record that a database has exported to RefWorks, but this is not for the full text. Click on the scrolling bars if you are not going to cite while using Write and Cite. We will talk more about this later. Most people do not use this. Click on the red X to delete an article. Click on the pencil icon to edit a record. Sometimes databases send bad data. For example, I have seen some databases that routinely capitalize all the letters in an author's name. This will need to be corrected by clicking here. In addition, you can upload links to PDFs and other files by clicking on this button. The Find Text at Tamu button is what we will use and discuss in just a moment to find full text. The star icon adds a citation to My List. This is a temporary designation, and all of the articles placed in here will no longer be marked with this once you've closed RefWorks for that session. To keep these items, put them into a new folder. Now let's discuss in more depth the Find Full Text button. Here I clicked on the Find Full Text button from one of my RefWorks articles. This page shows that there are two options for getting the full text of this. If these were not available, then I would click on the Get It For Me button. This is a free service to all Texas A&M University affiliates to order full text of articles. You can look to the yellow sticky note to ensure that the article is peer-reviewed. Lastly, you may notice that there are related articles listed on this page. If any of these are relevant, check the box next to the item and then click on the drop-down to select RefWorks. These will then be imported into your RefWorks account. Now it is time to complete the search. You will look at references in the article that you've collected and also look to see if there's any additional information or evidence that you need. When looking at citing references, you will read the articles that you found and circle any references that you want to explore more. This is especially important because you will want to cite those articles more directly than just citing the articles that led you to them. To use this, we will use a tool called Scopus. Scopus keeps track of who's citing who. This means that you can find an article you already have and look up those references that they cited when they wrote the paper, plus the articles that have cited that paper since it came out. We will do an example. A link to Scopus is provided on the Health and Kinesiology guide. Next, I typed in the article that I had already read and put this into Scopus. I selected article title for the field and then click Search. From the list provided, I chose my article. From the next screen, scroll down to see the references. From this list, you will mark the items that you want, click Export, then choose RefWorks, and then finally the blue Export button. Before moving on, I want to describe RefGrabIt, a tool from RefWorks. This is a bookmark or favorite link that you will add to your toolbar. You will click on it when searching websites that do not have an easy way to export to RefWorks. These include Google Scholar, PubMed, websites, and more. This is available for Firefox, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and Netscape, but for Macs only. It is very quick to add this tool to your toolbar. In RefWorks, click on Tools and then select RefGrabIt. Drag and drop the RefGrabIt link to your toolbar. Left-click on the link and drag it up. The problem comes if you cannot see your toolbar. Each browser has different ways of displaying this toolbar, which I will describe next. For Internet Explorer, right-click in the top left corner. Make sure that the Favorites bar is selected, as in the picture shown here. For Google Chrome, click on the Settings icon. Looks like 3 lines in the right corner. Then scroll to Bookmarks and make sure Show Bookmarks is selected, as shown here in blue. Finally, for Firefox, click on Firefox, scroll to Options, then check Bookmarks toolbar. You may need other information once you have looked at your articles. In the non-article section of the guide, there are 3 websites to consider. StatRef, which is a collection of textbooks, including medical, nursing, and pharmaceutical. Healthy People, which includes statistics, national objectives, and overviews. And Medline Plus, which provides information for patients and for clinicians alike. In StatRef, you can type in your keywords and then it will look for chapters and other resources that have those terms. Then select a title. To add to RefWorks, click on the RefGrabIt link that you added to your toolbar. Then check the box next to the item that appears in RefGrabIt and click Import to RefWorks. Healthy People is another website listed on the Health and Kinesiology Guide. You can either browse and select a page from there, or click directly on Healthy People 2020 and browse for pages there. Once you've found a page with useful information, you will want to cite it. Click on RefGrabIt. Then check the box next to, for in this case, Physical Activity Healthy People, and select Import to RefWorks. Once you have imported the item by clicking on View Last Imported Record, click on the pencil so that you can look at what was imported. Many times when you import a website from RefGrabIt, you will need to do some editing. In this case, no author was listed here. I would list Healthy People as the author and remove that part from the title. Then make sure to click Save Reference to save your changes. The last step is evaluation and cite. When reading the articles, you will be looking for conflicts of interest, such as a sponsorship that could bias the research. Other questions you might consider are, was the study done well? Were all appropriate methods and data reported? You will learn more about these questions as you continue with your coursework. To cite what you have collected, click on the folder. Then, click on the Create Bibliography button. Select an output style and a file type. In this case, I selected APA 6th edition, and for the file type, I chose HTML. If a pop-up blocker is on, you will not see this automatically. Look for the green box in the bottom right corner. Next, review the list. The authors of the third reference are all in capital letters and should not be. This is a case of bad data from the database being sent into RefWorks. You can edit here on this list or permanently fix this by clicking on the pencil next to the citation in RefWorks. In the last article, there are proper nouns that need to be capitalized. When RefWorks applied the APA style, it removed all of the capital letters in the article title, except for the first word in the title and subtitle. So make sure that you review all of the titles before submitting your bibliography. In addition, notice the URL at the bottom. I usually delete websites like this, which were added by EBSCO. These will only work for those on the university campus and do not belong on this reference list. Another way that you can cite your citations using RefWorks is with Write and Cite. This is an add-on for Word that cites references in your paper and then creates the bibliography at the end. It is available for both Macs or PCs. It has already been downloaded onto the OAL computers and most library computers. To download Write and Cite for your computer, click on the Tools tab within RefWorks and then select Write and Cite. Select options that are right for your computer. Click on Installation Guide if you have questions or issues. After downloading it, run the program. Next, open up Word and then click on the RefWorks tab. Select Login. The group code is shown here, RWTAMU. Plus, add your username and password and then click Login. It will take a few minutes for your computer to download your resources that you have collected. Next, select your style. Here I have selected APA style. You can change this selection at any time. Then, type in a sentence, putting the cursor where the in-text citation should go. Then click Insert Citation. From the Insert Citation screen, you can browse by selecting a folder or search by typing in a name or keyword. Then select an item from the results area. Click on OK to add. To add more than one citation to a sentence, click on the plus sign towards the bottom of the screen and then select another item. Additionally, you can add other information such as page numbers in the prefix or suffix area. You can edit an in-text citation by double-clicking on the citation, and the Insert Citation options will appear. To add your bibliography, click on Bibliography Options and then Insert Bibliography. You can edit your bibliography, but note that any changes you make will be overwritten if you add any citations. If you need more information about any of these steps, please review your workbook or go back to the guide. For example, you can view more about APA by looking at the style sheet that's available in the gray box. Click on Use RefWorks for more videos or explanations about RefWorks and its tools. In addition, you can contact me by email or phone. Thank you.